Good afternoon. I'm Mayor John Gunter from the City of Cape Coral. I wanted to give our residents an update exactly where we are up to this point with the recovery efforts with Hurricane Ian. As we all know, 3 weeks and 1 day ago, we woke up in the morning where we had a catastrophic event here in Cape Coral. And this recovery process will be long, but we will get through it. But I wanted to bring you up to date on some of the efforts up to this point. The three main topics that most residents are asking about is the debris collection, internet connection, FEMA information, and some of the insurance questions that some of our residents have. I think today I first want to let you know who is joining me here at this press conference. I have Councilmember Nelson, Public Works Director Mike Ilchism, Terry Schweitzer with the City Solid Waste Manager, Vince Katera, the City Director of Development Services, Chief Ryan Lamb from the Emergency Management Department, and the Fire Chief, and Wyatt Daughtry from our Planning Team Coordinator with Development Services. First off, we will have a discussion on the internet services that some residents are still experiencing that they're not up and running. We did have Comcast and CenturyLink participate in our regular council meeting, or actually our special council meeting on Wednesday. Comcast advised us that 95% of the residents have been restored. 5% still have not been restored, and I would urge each resident in that 5% to please contact Comcast directly if you have not had your service restored. It could be a line issue, it could be a problem with your equipment in the house, so I ask you to contact them directly. Also, we heard from CenturyLink. They advised us that they are still working on their service, and they experienced a great deal damage to their infrastructure. Therefore, that they could be up to the first quarter of 2023 before their service is up and running here in the city. So I want to make sure that the CenturyLink residents understand my position will be for you to contact them directly to see maybe where that timeline is and see if your service may not be restored until after the first of the year. Also, hurricane debris, as we all know, is a topic of discussion. Today we have over 160 trucks in the field. We've hauled 9,595 loads to date for a total of 472,000 cubic yards of waste. That's equivalent of filling 74 football fields 3 foot deep, to put it in perspective. We have about 8 years of vegetation debris on the ground now that we have to pick up as a result of the storm. And we have about 5 years of construction debris to pick up. So this is going to be a daunting task. We are making very good headway, and we are hoping we have a goal of trying to get the debris picked up by November 23rd. But as we all know, it is a big endeavor, but we are working diligently in your community to make sure that we get that debris picked up as quick as we can. The main focus for the construction debris will be in the southeast and the southwest part of the city. That's where our city sustained most of the storm damage. Therefore, we have a majority of the construction debris in those areas. So when it comes to construction debris, that will be our main focus moving forward. Also, we will begin shortly on debris pickup in our waterways. We have received the DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, approval to pick up the debris, but we are still waiting for the Army Corps of Engineers to approve before we can move forward. Hopefully we'll have that soon, and we shortly, hopefully we'll be able to begin our waterway debris pickup as well. Another topic of interest for most of our residents that experience the loss is our FEMA centers throughout the city. We do have a mobile registration intake center that is located as we speak now, and will be through the weekend until Monday. And their hours of operation will be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They are located at 1020 Culture Park Boulevard. So please, if you have any questions or you need to apply for any type of assistance through FEMA, I encourage our residents to come and speak to the representatives one-on-one to make sure that you understand exactly how the process works and what paperwork needs to be filled out, and make sure it's filled out properly. Also, we are looking at adding additional sites in the next coming weeks throughout the city as far as the mobile FEMA centers. And we will make sure that once that location has been identified and the times that they will be there and the dates, we will make sure that our communications department gets that information out to the community. Also, Senator Scott's office has reached out to me. They have a team that they want to deploy in the city of Cape Coral to help residents also with the FEMA process. These two locations will be up and running next week. One location will be at the Aubuchon Home Building Center, located at 4707 Southeast 9th Place. That will be next Thursday, and they will be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And also in the northern part of the city off of Pine Island Road, they will be at the McCullough Market, which is located at 125 Southwest 3rd Place. They will be there on Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. as well. My goal was to have at least one facility in the southern part of the city and one facility at the northern part of the city. That's why these two locations were chosen. So I would encourage our residents that need help through that FEMA process to take advantage of Senator Scott's team and visit those sites as well. Also, if you have been denied a claim, I would encourage you to visit Senator Scott's location, because they will go through the paperwork of the denial and make sure that you as a resident didn't miss something, or there may be some other means of relief that you may be entitled to. So I would encourage you to reach out to either one of those locations next week. Additionally, most of us that had houses that were built prior to 1981, that there is a rule that FEMA requires. It's called the 50% rule. I think you may have heard our council discussing this particular rule in our special meeting on Wednesday. This 50% rule is if you sustain damage in excess of the value of your structure. And I think that's an important fact to note is if you look at your property assessment tax bill, you will see two different values on there. You will see a structural value and you will see a property value. The 50% rule applies to your structural value only. So if you do have damage, you want to make sure that you're very aware of this 50% rule. You want to make sure that you discuss this with your insurance company, because this is a FEMA requirement. This is not a City of the Cape Coral requirement. This is a federal regulation that each homeowner must follow. And the only thing that we control here in the City of Cape Coral is something called the cumulative number that applies. So right now the cumulative number is evaluated every 5 years. I will tell you that the county and also the City of Cape Coral are evaluating possibly what latitude we may have in that cumulative number. We will be having discussions very soon on council to have that discussion. Once we have all the data, once we hear back from the county to see what their approach is going to be. So please stay tuned in reference to the cumulative number. That does not negate the 50% rule, so I just want to make sure that is perfectly clear. Also, I'd like to just talk about the permits. As most of you know, we have streamlined the emergency permits. We have 2 locations in the city. You can come, it's a paper permit that you physically come to City Hall, or you go to the Cultural Arts facility down off of Coronado Parkway, and you can apply for your emergency permit for any damage sustained in the hurricane. There's no fees involved, so I would encourage each resident to either come to Cape Coral City Hall or the other location to get the necessary permits. It has been fairly effective since we implemented that, so I would encourage you to visit one of those sites for your emergency permits. In addition to that, many of you know that we have suspended the regular permits. We will be readdressing that. We suspended that for 30 days. That will be up on November 12th, and I know staff and council will have a discussion between now and then how to approach our normal permits that we have throughout the city. My goal is to be open business as usual after that, but we will see what council collectively comes up with a decision with of course, the recommendation of staff. Also, we have the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They've activated Operation Blue Roof. This is free to our homeowners throughout the city. I just want to make sure that you understand that the deadline to apply for this service is October 23rd. You can call them at 888-766-3258 or blueroof.us to register for this service. If you've missed any information that I've provided here today, I encourage you to go to our website at capecoral.gov, click on the Hurricane Ian Recovery button. All of the information that I discussed here today, and any other information as far as FEMA, as far as how you apply for FEMA, the locations and the times that they're available, that is all on our website, so I would ask you to please go there and see exactly where those locations are. This time I'll open up for any questions, or if staff has anything that they would like to add. Would you like to talk about the debris? Anything that maybe I didn't cover?
I think you covered it well.
Okay. All right, Chief? Public Works?
Yeah, I think Public Works is actively working right now on opening a resident drop-off for C&D. We currently have one now for the vegetation drop-off that's off of Burnstore and Diplomat. But in the near future, hopefully next week, we should have a resident drop-off open for residents who want to self-haul their collection of their construction and demolition debris. And when that opens, we will make sure we put the word out, the location and times of operation.
Thank you. Another thing I want to mention when it comes to debris, I know we've gotten some emails today. The debris, in order for us to pick the debris up at your residential home, it has to be placed in the right-of-way in 3 separate piles. It's very important that I reiterate that it has to be in the right-of-way. Our trucks only have about a 20-foot reach anyway. That's an average right-of-way here in the city. So if you happen to have a large amount of construction debris in your yard, and we make a first pass and get that first 20 feet, if you have additional debris further in the yard, I asked our residents to please move that debris out to the right-of-way area for 2 reasons. It's a FEMA requirement that we pick it up in the right-of-way, and additionally, our trucks cannot do not have a reach over that 20 feet. We want to make sure that we keep the trucks on the roadways. We don't want to damage any of the yards, even if it's in the right-of-ways. We want to make sure that we don't damage any of the any of the yards of the residents. So we ask you to move that debris forward. We will be making a second or third pass, whatever it takes in order to get the debris up. So if we didn't get it all the first time, please move it forward. We will be back. You can look at also go to our website at capecoral.gov, and there is a link for a map that shows when the pickup will be in your area. So I'd ask our residents to please go to the website to see when that pickup is scheduled in your area as well. Wyatt, you have anything?
Mr. Good.
Mr. Katara?
Mr. Mack.
Yes.
I can have
Yes, sir.
question about temporary housing. So right now, temporary housing is all run through either FEMA or the Small Business Administration. They have 4 different programs that are currently available. Myself and the mayor and other city leaders are meeting with FEMA representatives on Tuesday, and that'll be a heavy topic to discuss of some of the other options that are available. But there are things called transitional housing, which is FEMA assistance to be placed into a hotel, rental assistance, assistance with repairing your property, and then those are all available directly through FEMA. Again, you can either go to disasterassistance.gov or come over to one of these mobile intake facilities. Again, the one that's currently opened across the street from City Hall. Again, we plan to open more across the city here in the very near future. And then the Small Business Administration offers a low interest or no interest loan for individuals to repair their property or find additional housing assistance. But we hope to have additional options. Again, these are all directly through the federal government, though. We're trying to advocate on behalf of our residents, but not a program that the city administers.
Also, one last thing that I wanted to advise the residents. Tonight, starting at 6 p.m. at Cape Christian Church, there is a similar to a town hall where there will be many representatives. I will be there. Representative Mike G. Lombardo, who represents, he's our state rep. There will be some individuals from the insurance industry, some attorneys, various people on the panel that if you have a question or you need some information, I would encourage you to participate. Stop by tonight at 6 p.m. That's on Chiquita Boulevard, Cape Christian Church. I think there'll be some great information for our residents there as well. Any other questions? Okay, I appreciate everyone for coming today. We'll try to have these updates on a weekly basis moving forward to keep our residents informed. And if at any time that you have any questions, you can surely reach out to my office as well. So thank you very much.